Thanks so much for clicking the play button. Today we're going to be doing this super sexy eye tutorial. I'm using golds and burgundies and I'm glowing, and yeah, it's just super sexy. I really hope you enjoy. If you do, don't forget to thumbs up and also subscribe. All right, let's go. So before we can really get into the tutorial, 3 things, because y'all be in that comment box just going off sometimes. All right, number 1, my brows are not done. I like to do them when I'm doing my foundation. I finish them off, okay? Number 2, this nail is broken. I don't get an appointment until Wednesday. It is Monday. I'm dealing with it. No need to point it out. She can get her nails done. And number 3, my house is lived in, which means there may be noise, background noise. There is nothing I can do about it, dolls. Y'all know how it goes, okay? I try to record at a very quiet time, but life ain't perfect. But anyways, let's go ahead and get into this tutorial now that we set down the ground stuff, okay? So like I said, I already went in on my brows and I started them off. All I use is my Colourpop. I don't know why hold on, let me try to fix my focusing thing. Okay, that's much better. So for my brows, this is what I'll use. It's by Colourpop. And it is the black and brown eye pencil. Is this concealer? It's really cheap. It's NYX. It's the palette. It comes in this shade called Deep. And I use this color right here to clean up the bottom of my eyebrows. I'm also going to use that color, let me zoom the camera in, to go ahead and help cancel out my lid. I use a few things to cancel out my lid, but I'm just going to start in with this. And I'm using just a flat top kind of brush, nothing special. I probably ordered it from BH Cosmetics or Coastal Scents, one of the two. And I'm just going to, like I said, place that color on my lid and blend it out. See, focus a lot of concealer on your lid and do I don't want to say thick because I don't want you guys to really cake it on, but do a thicker layer, because you see this is a very thin layer. It's still very opaque. We want the colors to pop in this tutorial, so we're going to layer it on, you see, a little bit thicker, if that makes any kind of sense. I'm really hoping that it's translating well to you on camera. Now you want to make sure that this has no creases, and I'm looking a little weird because I don't want to crease it when I take this Sacha Buttercup right here in this sponge here. And let me just look one more time to make sure, because this is really going to lock it in. Pat, 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 pat. Pat, 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 pat. Pat it on. Anything like that. You're going to take the brush that you dipped in your Sacha Buttercup with your eye kind of closed, and you're just going to pat that on there like that. This is going to just set your eye lid on down. All right, now we're going to just take any fluffy brush, and I'm just going to brush off the excess. And I know this looks like OMG, this is a lot, like why are we doing all these steps? But I'm telling you, when y'all see the final result, when you see how pigmented your color is going to be, you will understand why. And no, you do not always have to do this. It's absolutely not required. But when you really want your colors to translate well on camera, especially, I find just taking these extra measures really pay off very, very, very well. But this is definitely not like everyday kind of thing. You know, if you're just doing this look for your everyday, skip this part. Just go into the colors next, because I'm telling you, it really just truly makes a difference on film. With my personal favorite highlighter, which is rice paper. Just want to focus that in. And this is rice paper by MAC, an oldie but a goodie. And this is what I'm going to highlight my brow bone area with. When I am doing my makeup tutorials, I'm doing it in mind that I am going to be shooting on a professional DSLR camera. So, and I want to get very crisp and clear images. I know that that's not the concern for, you know, many of you. So definitely, if you feel that a step is too much, you don't have something, girl, omit it. And I'm telling you, if you just do the main stuff, like when I tell you, you gotta do this, when I say you gotta do this step, you do that step, I promise you gonna come out flawless, baby. I promise. And of course, the first thing I'm using is Juvia's Place What's New. And speaking of Juvia's Place, you know what, me and the owner, we really need to go for go, because you're always coming out with something new. Every time I get my coins together, every time I'm like, I'm gonna save and I wanna be cute and save my little points, here you come snatching them up. I'm tired of you releasing new stuff, girl. I love it, and I'm gonna keep buying it, but I just thought you should. Now I'm gonna take this color from the Juvia's Place palette, and this is the Nubian 2. And I'm gonna use the color Morocco. Just a beautiful, nice transition color. And I'm also using Juvia's Place brush. Brush is actually the J115. This is a blender brush. And I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna use this as my transition. So right under where you put your rice paper highlight or whatever highlight you decide to use, you would just start in with this color. And you can immediately see how bold and how pigmented that color is now popping on the lid. And you just want to take it back and forth in a windshield wiper motion across here, bringing it into your nose bridge. Okay, that's very important. You don't want to just stop doing it here or back here. You want to really bring it in, because it should be a transition. That's why it's called transition color. The more you know. So now that we have that all nice and blended out, looking really good, you want to go in with the same palette, and I'm using this color Jezebel. I'm going to actually just use the same brush. Just, I like the way it blends and it works for me. And I'm going to take that and I'm going to place that more so in the crease area right here. So I really want to focus that over in the crease area, and just slightly I'm bringing it into here. But you see, I'm not dragging it all the way down anymore. I'm really focusing the color right here. So that's what you want to be doing, is focusing the color Jezebel right here, making sure you're blending it with Morocco, which is our transition color, very seamlessly though. Move things over to my Violet Voss Holy Grail palette, which I absolutely love. You can get this from violetvoss.com, and I'll have links for everything down below per usual. And I'm going to use this color called Teddy Bear. I love this palette. It has the cutest names ever. I am using another Juvia's Place brush. This is the J117. It may look very much like the J115, but this is actually a precision brush. The other one is a blending brush. And this brush, as you can see, is a little bit more pointed at the tip. And the blending brush is, of course, more fluffy. So those are the differences between the two brushes right there. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use the color Teddy Bear, and I'm really going to put it just right here. I kind of want to darken Jezebel a little bit. So that's what I'm doing. And you can use any kind of smudger brush that you have to do this. And you would use use my favorite thing to use for this portion, which is the Anastasia Contour Cream Kit. This is just what I've been using to help cut my crease per se, but I am open to a lot of things. I still need to go ahead and order the white base that I told you I seen in B. Marie's video, but I haven't gotten around to ordering it. If you all have any suggestions as to something else that you like to cut your crease with, because I mean, I'm not saying that anything is wrong with it. I absolutely love the outcome, but always looking to try new things. If you know anything, comment down below and let me know, all right? So I'm gonna use the lightest shade right here. If the camera would ever, there we go. Now we cooperating. I'm going to use the lightest shade, and I'm going to use a Lancome brush. This is the Lancome number 8 concealer brush. And again, as I always say, it's really easiest, I feel, to use like the brush that's cut across here, the flat top brush, but I don't have one of those brushes, to be honest with y'all. So I'm just going with what I got. I could get one, but it's just like, sheer laziness, honestly. If you have that brush though, use that brush. You'll find it to be much easier, okay? I'm going to start here in the inner corner, and I'm going to work my way up. Sometimes what I like to do, because this concealer can be a little thick, is I'll mix either the Lancome concealer, or if you have LA Girl concealer, I just mix either Fawn or Toffee from LA Girl, and then I only have 415 Bisque for the Lancome one, and I mix it with that Anastasia concealer because it just makes it a little bit more loose. You also could, if you have a mixing palette, just scoop some out, mix it on the mixing palette, touch it with your fingers and really warm it up and make it more loose. But this is just a quick way to cheat. So what I'm going to do is, again, start here in the inner corner. And you see I'm just kind of cutting and patting. Then I am going to do a video on eye shapes. I promise. I'm following my eye shape. I just know how to do it so well. I can't really guide y'all through how to do this because I really need to explain more in depth the eye shapes, and I'm going to do a video on that. Don't worry, it's coming up, okay? But just to the basics, this is all I'm doing, is I'm carving out my eye shape. Don't make perfect, you can fix with your eyeshadow, and I'll show you how to do that too. Try to get each eye as even as possible. Because you are cutting this out, it makes the eyeshadow more pronounced, so it will look more pronounced if there is a flaw in it, so do keep that in mind. Okay. And then once we're done cutting out the eye portion, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take another Lancome brush. This is the number 11 brush, and this is just a large shadow brush. I'm using the same palette from Violet Voss, but this time I'm going to use this color called Toffee. Really pretty metallic-y color, and it's perfect to go with these warm colors here. And wherever I just put the concealer, I'm going to pat this on. Now normally what I would do, and what I suggest doing, is to do your other eye. Well, cut out your other eye before you do this part, but because this is literally the third time I've done this look, I'm pretty confident with how it's going to go, so that's why I'm doing it this way. But if it's your first time, I recommend cutting out your eyes, getting them as even as possible, and then doing your eyeshadow, so you don't have a lot of error. Once you've done this, you're gonna be looking like, this looks crazy, all I see is lines. Don't worry, we're gonna fix this, okay? So the first thing we're going to do, oh, wrong palette. I'm gonna move over to my Masquerade palette, which is also by Juvia's Place, okay? And I'm gonna use this color called Ada, which is right here. I'm going to use another Lancome brush. This is the number 13. It is a liner and shadow brush. It's dual. And I'm going to pat it onto the shadow side. And I'm going to go right here, right where the Toffee and the Jezebel meet. I'm going to place that color on down. This is going to be the color that marries our Toffee into the Jezebel right there, okay? And I know y'all just blending tip shadow brush from Lancome. It's a number 16 brush, and right where I just placed those two colors, I'm just gonna go here and I'm gonna blend in. You're already starting to see a softer transition, a more softer look with the eye. Just keep on blending. One of my other favorite parts, I just like to clean it up with a makeup remover wipe. Just be like, girl, leave that unblended. No, we can't do that. We gotta blend everything, honey. right now, which is by The Balm. It's called the Schwing liner. And I'm just gonna go ahead and do my wing. So the lash I'm using today is a very cheap lash. I actually got this from the dollar store, my local Dollar General. And this is by LA Colors, and it's the Dramatic Lash. And the number, is that 979? No, 976. And it's also called Diva. So I'm gonna put these on, and I'm going to be using just any kind of lash glue you have, it's fine. And because these are, first of all, thin lashes, and secondly, because I really want my real lashes to blend in, I'm going to go in really heavy with the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara. It's a mascara that adds a lot of volume and darkness to this lash. I didn't want a super thick lash. I wanted a thin lash that I could build up, if that makes sense. So I'm just going to take a couple of coats, and I'm going to apply it, starting under first, just so that I can grab onto my real lashes and blend in with the falsies. I'm gonna go ahead and do my foundation, my highlight, my skin prep offline. I have lots and lots of videos. I'll link one right above here showing how I do my foundation and my concealer and everything like that. Just to save time, I'm just going to tell y'all what I'm using. Of course, I'm using my Genifique first. I'm going to use this foundation, which is the L'Oreal Pro Glow, and I use the shade Cocoa. I'm mixing it with the Danessa Illuminating Veil, and the one that I have is called Goddess. For my concealer, I'm mostly going to use Lancome Tint Idol. This is number 415. Sometimes I mix it with a little bit of LA Girl Fawn, just depends on how I feel. All right, so once I get all of those done and I get my highlight set with my Sacha Buttercup, I'll be back, all right? I'm gonna go back into the Masquerade palette, and I'm gonna take an angled brush from Lancome, and I'm gonna take the color Ada right here. This is the color that we mixed with Jezebel right there with Toffee. And on the angled brush, I'm just going to take it and I'm going to go underneath where I put my black eyeliner. This is my new favorite contouring powder, and the brush I'm applying it with is actually the J105 contour brush by Juvia's Place. This is only my second time playing around with this brush. I know a lot of people love this shape of brush, but usually I use more of a angled brush like this. I'm gonna try it out again and see how I like it here. Particular reason, I really like the brush this time. I even went down the sides of my nose, and I really like the contour that I'm having on my nose right now, which is super hard and super rare for me. If you notice, that's why I don't contour my nose a lot, because I just don't like the unnaturalness of it. But I really like it today with this brush. Again, I don't know why I didn't like it the first time. Maybe it's just because I wasn't on camera. I show out a little more on camera. I'm using my favorite blush, which is by NARS. It's called Seduction, and it's a very pretty deep wine blush. And I'm just going to apply that with any old blush brush. First one I grab. I don't want this one though. This one, because it goes really nice with my contour. So I feel like it just emphasizes my contour a little bit more, but in a natural way. Brush, which is also the same brush that I put my black opal setting powder on with. And I'm just gonna go over the whole face now and just put everything together. Highlight with contour, the blush, just lightly going over everything right now, especially my nose. And today, I think I really want to do the most with my contour. So I'm going to go in a little heavier. And you see what brush I picked up, right? We just always, I think old habits just die hard. I just showed y'all all of my natural 4C edges right now. Okay, so that's pretty good. I'm just going to take my NYX Matte Finish Setting Spray. I'm gonna go ahead and spray my face. I do this before my highlight. And then I'm gonna come back and we're just gonna finish off with highlight and lips. So for my highlight, I'm gonna use my AY Beauty highlighter. And this color is Lush. It's just this pretty golden color. Y'all know I have a thing for gold highlight. And I'm going to use this brush from Lancome. This is the Cheek and Contour brush, number 25. And I'm going to just wet this brush slightly using my setting spray. Right there, I smile slightly. And that highlight is really popping. I love it. And just blend it away until you feel comfortable with the amounts of highlight you have. And I'm gonna do the same thing for the other cheek. I really like to make sure the brush has no excess. Excess just makes it super messy. Take my finger, dip it into the highlight powder, rub it on the back of my hand, and then take it down my nose. And for this part, really just blend, because at first it can look really dramatic. I use the matte NYX NYX spray before I do my highlight. After I do my highlight, my face is like complete now. Then I go in with the dewy. Oh, and then for this look though, I do want to add Beauty Mark. So this is optional. You don't have to do this part, but I just like to add beauty marks to my face, and I just use whatever liquid eyeliner I use for the day. That a lot of you actually think is a real beauty mark, but I had a Monroe piercing years ago, and that was just the scar that it left. I did that. I'm going to take this NYX Dewy Spray, shake it up real good, and spray my face. And that is my final layer of setting spray. Go ahead and line my lips. And then right on top of the Rooch, I'm just going to take the color Diva, which is by MAC. I'm gonna go ahead and clean my lip up. So this is the completed and final look. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you do like the style of me doing the tutorial where I'm actually talking y'all through instead of doing the voiceover, thumbs up this video so I know to keep recording like this. Also, if you have not already, go and press the subscribe button. And lastly, if you do decide to recreate this look, I love when y'all recreate looks. Remember to @me on whatever social media. My Snapchat, Facebook, and Instagram are all down below in the description box. Thanks y'all so much for watching. Stay pretty, and I'll see you in the next video.